All right, here we are. Hello, everyone. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is Wednesday Afternoon Live. I always have to adjust my thinking there for a second. Welcome to our Wednesday Afternoon Live class. And if you're brand new to the channel, I want to say hello to you as well, and just tell you this is where we get together every Wednesday afternoon live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time to draw a portrait. And I want to welcome you. If you're looking for a great group of community of artists, join our Facebook group. It's extremely active and very helpful. And that's it for today, for right now. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. I'm going to show you the method that I use, how to draw any kind of hat on anyone's head. It's universal. Along with that, I'm going to do a quick review of some of the tools that I use for measurement. And I think these come in very helpful no matter what scenario you are working from. I am live, so if you have any questions, feel free to jump in the chat. I'm always here to answer those questions live, and that's it. So what do you say we get right into this? Okay, so typically my approach to drawing will go from this premise, and I want you to keep this in mind. We always go from gesture to construction, and then into detail. Okay. Detail. So I want you to remember this idea. Another idea that I think is extremely important is to draw lightly. To draw lightly. Start off by drawing as light as possible, and then we can darken up as we go along. But don't commit to your structure until you get those lines in lightly, okay? A big part of your advancement of an artist is pressure, is understanding when to draw lightly and then when to really push down with to make a statement with your darker values. All right, so go lightly to start off with. I also want to show you, we're going to go over the tools of measurement. MEASUREMENT. I think that's what it is right there. And let me hit up these four for you right at the start here. Tools of measurement are going to be vertical lines, horizontal lines, negative space, or negative shape. Actually, this should be negative shape. And then finally, cartoon check. Okay, cartoon check. And then fourthly, we're going to talk about drawing hats. Okay, so we're going to draw hats. So remember these four things. These things are extremely important. Hats will serve you well, but really this one here, the tools of measurement, we'll go over those in just a second here when we get to that point. But let's go ahead. I'm going to erase that, and we will bring up a new layer. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want you to do is think of a gesture. Okay, now what is a gesture? A gesture is a very light drawing, and it's you are going quickly, trying to separate. You're trying to relax and just try and not make this as perfect, but just put in the lines that we could build upon. Okay, so usually a gesture is going to go rather quickly, maybe a minute or two. So let's do this. Let's take the next, give me a minute, watch me do it first, and then I'll turn around and give you a couple minutes. All right, so this is what I would do if I was going to draw a gesture. All right, so I'm going to hold my pencil toward the back here, and I'm just, very lightly, I'm just kind of going along the, oh, you know what I want to do here? Hold on. Before we do that. All right, little adjustment of my pencil there. And, oh no, I'm being swatted. No, not really. All right, here we go. All right, gesture here. All right, so I'm just going to take a minute here. All right, so I'm thinking of the ball of the head here. All right, I'm thinking like, there's his ear, right? Maybe his eyes, center line there. All right, looking, what I'm doing now is I'm just quickly looking for my general okay, there's my quick gesture, right? Why don't you go ahead and go for it now? I will give you 2 minutes. So stay light and just kind of jump around the form as quick as you can. Okay, ready and go. You got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to try and draw a quick gesture. And while you do that, I'm going to sit here and take a sip of my flavored seltzer water. You have 2 minutes. Wow. Looks like there's something cooking out there. I'm going to give you have still about maybe another minute here. Another minute. Just quickly put something on the page. Okay, time is up. All right, great. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. And so we've done our gesture. Let's move right into the construction phase. This is when we're going to start breaking down our form. So let's go ahead and begin with this sphere of the head. And a lot of times I like to look at the head. I like to look at the parameters of my head. And a lot of times you could see a straight line and a curve on any head that you draw. So let me bring this down here and then give me another color to work with. So in this case, I see this. You see that right there is my curve. Where this side here, this is going to be my straight, right? And that is extremely helpful to me. So let's put that in place here. Let's see. So we're gonna have a bit of a curve here. All right. So all of our stuff is going to happen all within these parameters. All right. Next thing I want to establish is where is the temple. So this is the temple right there where I put that red dot. All right, so let's put that into place as well. So that temple is going to be somewhere over here. Okay. The other temple is going to be across. You can feel them. All right. Look for the temples. They're right. Here's the other one right there. Okay. So let's see now, where is that? It's like almost directly straight across, almost to the edge here. And here's a good example of how important it is right from the start to get everything working, which brings us to the first tool of measurement. First tool of measurement is a horizontal line. So if I draw a horizontal line here, see how those two temples are lining up? But look at my page, look at my picture. I have not done that. You see the difference? So I need to actually erase this guy right here. And I need to bring that temple down just a bit. Right from the start, I want to be accurate in these early measurements. All right, next is the gabella, or the center of the head. Okay, so let's add that as a mark on our page. And be mindful that it's a little bit to the left. It's a little bit more to the left. It's not exactly center. Okay, next is going to be the center line. This is the line that goes down the center of his face. And one thing I notice is he has this strange curve at the bottom. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and which I typically don't do, I'm going to curve that line ever so slightly. All right, so here. Okay, so there's my center line. So if you want to take notes of these steps, you know, what you're going to do is start off with the overall sphere of the head. Next, look for the straight and curve. That gives you some type of parameters to work in between. Next, locate the temples. Then the gabella, or the center. And then that center line, and that creates the T of the face. Okay? T of the face. Okay, let's get the bottom of the nose now. So take a look at that. Take a look at that distance there. And you could even say like, oh, look at this. You can look at those 3 points there and really kind of get them in proportion. So right about there is the bottom of his nose. And from the gabella to the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the chin, that's usually divided in about half, okay? That's about half, and I think that looks pretty good there. So let's come down here and get our halfway point. All right, usually look what I got here. I got my little visual aid of my skull, and usually the just so you know, the flat skull is flat along the sides, okay? So we try and represent that by going here to the temple, and we want to just almost like create that side of the face, okay? Almost like we sliced off the end there. So do this lightly. You don't have to do this too dark, but it will definitely help us to position. It'll help us to position our ear. And then we're about 20 minutes in right now, so I'm going to ask you a big favor. If you're not subscribing to the channel, if you take a minute and subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. Hey, I mean, even better yet, if you know of other artists who can benefit from these from our Wednesday afternoon line, let them know. Let them know to tune in and expand the channel a little bit. That would be great. All right. Likes for the video, all that good stuff, okay? Okay, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's drop in our ear now. Now, our ear, if you look closely, is going to be toward the back of this. And let's once again use another tool of measurement. And let's see here. Here's a horizontal line for the top of the ear. And here is a horizontal line. All right, so this tells us that the top of the ear is going to be right about there. Maybe a little bit higher than what I've indicated. Maybe it's about there. And then the bottom is going to be maybe about, okay, the bottom, I like where I had the bottom, but the top needed to be pushed up a little bit. All right, so I'm just going to use some diagonals here to kind of get a rough shape, looking for the outline of my ear. Now let's go ahead and get this ear. Let's get this ear in place, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is to get the C of the ear. That's the part that goes just like that, okay? The C of the ear, right in there. All right, let's put that in. And it's kind of flat. It's kind of flat like this. And then it's going to come around and tuck behind the Y. Look at that. This is the Y of the ear. There's an official name for it, but where is it? It's right there, okay? Looks like the letter Y, and you can see it's coming in something like that maybe, right? Well, there's something going on. All right, there's roughly my ear, and you know, I just kind of use little strokes to try and get it in place, almost like I was painting them. Almost like I was painting them. Okay, let's now continue from our ear, drop down a little line, and you can take your finger and feel the corner of your jaw, all right? And that jaw is going to be right here. Corner of the jaw is right there. So we're going to drop down, and then we're just going to have a nice sweep across to that bottom of the chin, okay? So let's just all right. Nice sweep across there. Let's go ahead and jump to the other side of the head right now, okay? And look at this here. Let me erase this now because we don't need that line anymore. All right, so we're going to come in just a little bit there. And then we get this other nice, a slight sweep coming down. You see that? Let's do that. So right here, we're going to come in just a little bit. Look at the example closely. And there we go. I like that line right there. All right, I'm going to erase some of these marks here so we can start to get into some details, all right? Okay, first thing, let's go ahead and get this gabella in place. Gabella is this shape right there. It's like a keystone, okay? So let's see here. Let's try and get that nice and draw lightly. Nice keystone shape. And then this is a really nice flat side there. But let me kind of break this nose down for you to show you how we're going to draw it today. We're going to do something like this, and I'll go through the steps with you here. All right. So get this angle right. And here's another opportunity to use one of the tools of measurement, and it's, look at this. This is negative shape here. Look at this shape. You see this? See that shape right there? Try and visualize that shape. Don't draw that. Just visualize it. And if you get that shape right, then you know that your nose is the proper distance from the side of the face, you see? All right, look at this nose here. This is kind of has a little bit of a curve here. Then look at this. This comes in here like another curve. I'm in my mind, I really kind of feel how round this is here. And then let's get this nostril in here. So this nostril is coming down like this. And then the other side is going to be a little bit wider because it's on the 3/4 view. Just a hair wider. You know, one other thing that I do before we draw this portrait, I try and spend about 15 minutes before I go live and draw it myself. I usually give myself a 15-minute framework where I just do as much as I can in 15 minutes. And a big advantage of that is it automatically gives me a familiarity where I am growing familiar with my subject. So when you are drawing a portrait, a lot of times you will find if you do some warm-ups of it, it will really help in your final process because you're already putting that information into your head. Okay, let's continue on here. Let's move slightly down and get the V of his lips. The V of his lips is this little section right in here, okay? There's the V of his lips. And now these next lines are really, really important. These next 2 points. These are the corners of his mouth. So you really want to be careful where you put them in. So let's think of horizontal verticals now. So let's see, that one is on a horizontal. That's lining up with the outer edge of the wing. And then this one is a little bit further out. You see that? So let's see if we can get that proportion in place. So I'm going to put mine right about there. And then the other side, which is going to be right on the outside, maybe even out further than that. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and connect the dots here. There's that side. Okay, and there's that side there. Okay, next part of the lips that you want to be careful of is the teeny little, usually it's like a little smiley face, and it's right there. It's where the top lip starts to like come into a like a smiley face. It overlaps usually the bottom lip. You see that? I just took it away. Watch again. It's right there. And look where the corner lines up with the outside of the V, and this is a little bit further out. You see that? These are, once again, using vertical lines of measurement, and this will help keep things into proportion. So let's see here now. Okay. All right, we can do a straight line there. And then over here, straight line over there. Okay, look at this. Look at the center line. It goes over the top of the lip, and then the center line falls over the bottom one. You see that there? Let's put that in place. Center line there. Okay, nice straight bottom here. Here's the bottom. It's a little bit bigger than the top. And I'm going to go ahead and just, as long as I'm here, I'm going to just drop in this little shadow on the bottom lip, and then a larger shadow on the corner there of his lips. You see that? Okay. Chin. A lot of it's being covered up with the beard, which is fine. We'll come back and get that. But I just want to drop in the line, that bottom line of the chin there. just lightly marking in his goatee there. All right, let's jump up and work on these eyes. Okay, so this is where like his eyes are almost very horizontal, but then the lower part of his face kind of twists ever so slightly. So what I'm interested in is the eye line, and there's my eye line right there. You see that? Let's lightly, very lightly put that in. Okay, I'm going to start with his left-hand eye, and first thing I notice is from the outside of the wing, oh, look at that. That almost lines up exactly with the outside of the wing of the nose, right up with that pupil, okay? That's very helpful. And then the inside, where, like his tear duct, where's this? Okay, that's almost right to the other end of his nose. You see that? So let's kind of use that as a measuring point. That's about where his pupil is going to go. All right, so let's go ahead and put this in now. We're going to 1, 2, 3. Then a slight S curve underneath. Okay, I'm going to jump to the other eye now. Go through the same thing here. There's the tear duct. Vertical. Oh, look, that lines up with the outside of his wing there, of his nose. So outside of his nose, straight up. There's the one tear duct. And usually the distance between the eyes is equal to the width of an eye. Right? It's usually 3 eyes across. All right, so this time it's going to be a little bit long, and then just this nice curve. A nice S curve there. Let's go ahead and get his pupils in. And one thing when I'm drawing pupils, what I like to look for is I like to look for the negative shape of the whites of the eye. I really look for those shapes, and they help me to position the pupil correctly. Let me erase that. All right, let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, I'm just gonna, usually with black people it's hard to, their eyes are brown, so it's hard to separate their pupil, their iris from their pupil. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add his eyelash here, because that will always help my eyes. And I'm just darkening in that line right above the eye there. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop in this highlight. Oop, even smaller. And you could do this with an eraser if you have that. And you want to make sure that highlight is more toward the top of the eye. I'll give you a minute here to get caught up. Give you a couple minutes. Okay, let's keep going here. All right, we're really moving along. I'm going to put in where I see that upper eyelids there. Okay, let's go ahead and get his hat in, because that's what we're here for. Let's get these hat in here. So when I draw a hat, I always just want to ignore the brim and just think of the cap part, okay? Just think of the cap part. So this is, what I mean by that is this is what I'm focusing on. Where this cap part, I don't even care about the brim, and this goes for all hats. So let's see here. So this one's going to be right about there, I believe, right? And it's going to come through there and then come through right here. You see that? Those are the points that I want to hit. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this cap part here. I think I see a mistake, a big mistake that I made. I make this mistake more often than not. Is I make the heads way too wide. So this is interesting, and this is another good use of your proportion tools. We've already gone through. We've used a vertical line. We've used horizontal lines. We've used negative shape, and now this is where the cartoon check will come into place. And look at this now. Cartoon check is you look at your picture, look at your reference, then look at your picture, and you jump back and forth really fast, back, bum, 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 bum. And if something is out of alignment, it's going to jump. So for example, I believe my ear is too far to the right. So if I jump back and forth, yeah, I think I've pushed my ear a little bit too far to the right. Now, I'm not going to fix it. We're going to roll with it. But that is the cartoon check. All right, let's go ahead and get this brim in now. Look at this now. The brim is going to be, it's going to be starting right there. It needs to come out that distance. All right, and then it's going to come connect back into the hat right about there. You see that? So let's go ahead and make a mark where that's going to start. It's right above the eye, right there, okay? It's going to come through this point, and hit right about here. Now, how far out am I coming on this? So that's the distance right there. What does that equal to? Okay, look at that. Right to the inside of the eye. You see that? That's a good marker. So right to the inside there, and I'm going to be right about here. That's about how far out I want to come with that brim. Okay, now it's once again it's time to ante up, right? So where are we at? We're at about 46 minutes into this. So guess what? If you were still sticking here, if you're still with me at this point, still watching this video, that tells me you're quite serious about drawing. Because most people would have quit by now. But if you're still watching this at this mark, it means you're quite serious. Well, I have a special class, a membership class called the Dedicated Student. There's a link down in the description. And that class is only $10 a month. And if you gave me 3 months, I guarantee you would see a lot of improvement. What we do in that class is we get together every day, Monday through Friday, for about 30 to 40 minutes, and we hit on different subjects. Mondays, we take a look at natural things. Tuesdays, we take a look at man-made objects. Wednesday, we do a deep dive into portrait drawing. Like today, we're going to be looking at how to draw hair. Thursdays, we look at character design, and Fridays, we take a look at animals. And right now, we are looking at horses, a couple more weeks on horses. But yeah, for $10 a month, that's called the Dedicated Student. You'll have access similar, just like this, live. And I think you're going to be really happy with yourself if you invest $30. $30 into yourself. That's over 60 hours of drawing with me on a regular basis. All right, so consider that. All right, let's keep going here. Kevin's still here. That's right. Kevin knows what I'm talking about. All right, there's the top of my cap right there, right? And that cap is very angular coming around, and then this backside, it gets very curvy. So we can come around here like this. Okay, I'm going to erase some of these things now. We are at 48 minutes. We're looking good. I'm going to erase some of this because I think we are getting most of our construction down, almost ready to jump into our detail of tones. All right, so let's get this neck. His neck's going to come down like this. The back side of his neck is almost like coming down as a straight. Everybody has these tendons. These tendons go right along here. They go right down to the pit of your neck, back of the ears, down to the pit of your neck. And, you know, I always just like to put a small indication of where they're going. And of course, then he has his windpipe coming down here like this. And then his edge of his t-shirt, right? Now look at this. This is interesting. Look at this shape right here. This is negative shape. That's a measuring device. That's another. We went over that once already, but 2 times as a charm. So let's look for that shape, because that will give us how far that shoulder is from his chin, you see? Okay, ready? Ready to start adding some of this great shading? Okay, so right now I'm gonna trace, not trace. I'm gonna follow the path of the shadow here, and I'm gonna do this so lightly, okay? And this, and we're just gonna come around here, around, underneath his chin is gonna be just like about that. Now I'm just gonna come in here with a very even tone. A nice even tone. I'm going to go over it again. Gone over my whole drawing with a couple passes. And then also down here underneath his chin. And then I'm going, now look at this, if I squint my eyes, the underside of his cap is really dark. Okay, now since we have all this, now it's just a matter of just start adding value, darkening areas as you see fit. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to trace, go right over this mustache and beard. And look how that beard changes value once it gets in the light compared to when it's in the dark. really trying to look at my values now. So take a look at this now. This is interesting. I want to show you a trick, or not a trick, just a tip, okay? Pause for a second, and I just want to show you this. This is important. So you have this, look at this value right there. That's his skin in dark, okay, in shadow. This right here is the skin in light. All right, so those are two values I want to take a look at. Is this on another layer? Okay, good. Here's my value, and here's this value. Okay, already I can see my shadow value should be a little bit darker. All right. Now let's move up. Let's move up a little bit. Look at this value right here. Okay, compared to this value right there. Let's circle this so we get an idea. Okay, you see how this and those two values are identical. Okay, but this, look at this. This value and this value. Look at the differences in the skin of those two values. You see that is the darker one. So now if I come up here and circle this, the shadow right here on his glabella should match that value right there. So when you're going to start adding value to his face, you might only have three values. You have the skin tone that's in the light, the skin tones that's shadowed, and then the darker value of the skin tone. That's what I like to call your organization of values. So let's see what we could do with that in the time remaining. Okay, so I'm going to drop this down a little bit more. Okay, so that becomes my shadow value. Let me see if I can match that everywhere that I see shadow, where his skin is in shadow. I'm going to erase all of this to help me. I keep referencing that value right there. Okay, so we're gonna kind of bring this to a close here shortly. But one last thing I want to do is we have to get this this value for the hat in. So let's take a look at this right here. That's the value that we're trying to achieve there. Okay, I think it's a little bit lighter than that, but it's definitely darker. So it's somewhere in between those two. So let's see here. Okay, I think that's going to do it for today. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone. And if you don't mind, do give the video a like and drop me a comment. That would be awesome. Thanks for watching, everyone. My name's Kurt. I'm a Dad Who Draws, and this has been our Wednesday afternoon live. And I'm always glad to see you guys. All right. Kevin, thanks for chiming in. Elena, good to see you as well. Go out there. Make your day great, everyone. Bye-bye.